Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the engine house. Uh, First off, I'd like to apologize. I was going to shoot a video on building Ned's shed, and things got rather hectic around here, and I was kind of squeezing it in here and there when I got a chance, and completely forgot to shoot a video. It's one of those things. It's been kind of crazy. We've had snow, rain, melt off, freezing, more snow, more rain. It's been nuts. And in the process of all of that, I've been moving stuff out of the basement up here. As you can see by that used to be a closet back there and had our winter coats in it. My wife poked her head in here the other day and said, "Oh my God, what a mess." Well, I did. I had stuff everywhere, and trying to shoot a video with all of that, it was kind of not going to happen. So I apologize. I will show you Ned's shed. It is sitting here. It is all finished. Okay, there it is. There's the side, there's the back, and there's the other side. I know this chimney pipe is ridiculously long. They could have had about half of that length. It would have been fine. In the picture, it shows it that long on the Frenchman River in the directions. I said, "What the heck?" I just left it. There's a few things that came with it. There are some 3D printed stones that go underneath the legs here, and there are a couple of 3D printed trash cans that would sit here. I'm not including those with the diorama. I'll paint them up later. This is mostly just for the diorama. And yeah, so I'm not going to worry about those right now. I may incorporate this entire thing into my layout when I'm done. I know I've got a couple of things I need to build for mountains behind, and I may squeeze this in somewhere and put it in there. Oh, excuse me. I still have Green Pastures Dairy here. I haven't had a chance to work on it and the diner. I'm going to be ordering some detail parts for it real soon and get them in. But again, it's been kind of nuts around here. And now that it's warming up, hopefully I can get back into the basement. But also on top of that, getting started on summer projects around here is going to limit my time. So it's been kind of nuts. Anyway, one of the things I did here, and Jersey Highlands Bruce with Jersey Highlands Bruce, did a video about a year ago on making bushes out of jute. And one of the things I have done in the last couple of days is make a few of these. Some will be on the diorama, and some will just be here in different stages. He uses jute. I have a smaller thing of it over here. 1 second, and I will find it. I like having my stuff up here now. It makes life a little easier. Not everything is up here yet. I still have the remnants of the old dresser down there, and I need to take everything out of it and bring it up. Anyway, this is jute, and this is 2-ply. It has 2 strands made up of much smaller. There you go. Made up of much smaller strands. Okay, you can use this. It's not that hard to do, but I being an O gauge, this would probably work on N and HO. The other will too. I tend to use bigger jute. I use this, the big stuff. This has got 4 or 5, 1, 2, 3. This is 5-ply from the looks of it. Maybe 4. I never really counted. Apparently, this is 4. It's got one big wad there. So, but this is thicker stuff here, and they make even thicker than that. I picked a bunch of that stuff up, two garbage bags full, from my wife when we were still out west, and she had made some macrame plant hangers for hanging plants in the cabin and didn't use it all. When we moved here, we brought it with us in case she wanted to make some more of the plant hangers we left behind. And she decided she didn't want to use it. So I've been kind of dipping into it. I've got it floating around here. And it's great stuff for using it. I use it, of course, for making pine trees. And now we use it for making bushes. Now, I made some tall ones. These in the O scale would be around 6 feet. So they're about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. They'd be about 6 feet. And they're not, I wish they would spread out a little more. I'm going to try and fix these. I made these earlier. These were some of my earlier attempts here. And there, that helps a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to make a couple of small ones, so show you how it's done. Bruce recommends, and I agree, is you want to have at least 1.5 inches to start with because you're going to be using hot glue. And so we'll cut this. That is, give or take, about 1.5 inches. Okay, there we are. It's about 1.5 inches, give or take. You want enough room to get your fingers away from the hot glue. And now we get some hot glue. You want to make sure you get all the fibers coated, hold it together, and then you put it down there on parchment paper, okay? And it'll come right off of the parchment paper. Since I have a second one here, let's make another bush here. And these are going to be considerably shorter. I don't really need a bunch of 6-foot tall bushes. There we go. Let's unplug that glue gun. And now, once this glue has a couple seconds to set, it'll be fine and we'll move on to the next step. And again, this stuff comes right off. Now, you want to spread these out. First off, let's figure out here, let's go about half of that. This is going to be a short one right there, okay? We're going to have a short one here. We're going to spread these out in different directions. We're going to do a little bit of trimming here and there because you don't want them all exactly the same length, right? I had never seen a bush that was the same everywhere. And one of the things is you get your finger down there and you kind of tap on that, and there you go, okay? Now we're going to put it on. If you have double-sided tape, which I don't have, it'll work even better. We're going to move this over here, and we are going to go with medium dark green flocking. Okay, and this is my homemade stuff. This is all done with sawdust and paint. And it works pretty good. We are going to go ahead. Also, safety first. We're using Gorilla spray adhesive, okay? Anytime you're using spray paint, spray adhesive, whether it's hairspray or glue, excuse me, you want to do it in a well-ventilated area. If you have a little paint booth, some people have paint booths, that pull this stuff out so they can do their painting, airbrush painting inside, which is a good thing to have. Okay, if you can't go outside where it's plenty ventilated, and right now it's still too cold to open a window, you want to wear a mask. Okay, safety first. You do not want to be sucking this into your lungs. So let's go ahead, give this a quick shake. And then we'll take this And we will sift this. And you don't want a whole bunch, okay? Because bushes have dead branches and things on them. We all know that. And there you go. There it is. The flock is on it. And that looks like, and you can add a little more. I mean, if you're not happy with it, you've got a spot that you just kind of, there it is. Add a little more. You don't want it to, you don't want to cover up the whole thing. You want some of the jute to show through, like dead branches on a bush, okay, in the forest or wherever. So we've done that one. That was medium dark green. Now let us do the next one on a light green. We have ground cover light green. And this is really easy to make. I shot a video on doing it a while back. It's really, really simple. These are a lot of fun to make. You could whip these things out. If you're going to heat up a glue gun, you can whip these things out in minutes. It is so easy to do these, as you can see. And we're going to cut this one off. We're going to let's go right about there. And then we will beat this up. We're going to cut a few little places here. Get your finger down in there and spread that out. Maybe I should have done that with the other ones, the bigger ones. These are actually looking pretty good. And you don't have to worry about, we'll point this out. There's the glue here. It's good to glue. You can use this as kind of a base to glue your bush down to your layout. And if you're worried about the glue showing, once it's glued and dried, you can add a little white glue to this and sprinkle a little ground cover on it. It'll cover it right up. It's not that hard. And if you look at these, you barely notice the glue there. And once they're on the layout, you won't even notice it. If there's a big blob like I have on this one, kind of went a little overboard on that, then you might want to cover them up with some ground cover. Anyway, again, safety first here. Let's put some of this in there. And then okay. This was kind of an unintended, but it came out pretty good. That little strand right there, I missed with the scissors. And you can see the ground cover, the flock covered that glue up pretty well right there too. So we'll let that dry. We'll let these dry. I will show you, I was working on these yesterday, and I put some on the diorama already. And again, it has been insane. I almost, I thought, gee, I should have shot a video yesterday or the other day making these, and excuse me, and I did not. So I thought, well, I'll shoot another one with a couple of short ones on. And yeah, you always want to keep, I have about 3 of these. This is how I make the flocking. Sawdust in here. I mix it with paint and some water, and then you bake it in the oven at 200 degrees for about an hour, and you've got flock. So I got 3 of those, and I use them for everything. Anyway, we're going to wait for that to set up. We're going to put this away. These things are, you can make these, they are so fast. It just, you saw how fast that was. And the glue gun, it doesn't take that long for this stuff to set up, really. It takes longer for them to dry on here than it does anywhere else. And Shop Kitty is not here today. She is sound asleep somewhere. Usually, lately, she has been ignoring me for some reason, probably because I'm not in the basement. Sometimes she'll come in. Anyway, here are some. There's one here, nice tall one. There's another one. Here's one here. Here's one here. And then here's one here by the stone wall. You can see I started a stone wall here. Now, in scale, this should be about twice this tall, okay? I collected a little bunch of little stones out in the yard and did this. If I were gonna add this whole thing to my layout, I will add more stones and make this more to scale. For the demonstration, it's just showing people this is what some of the stuff you can do with what you got on hand. You can use a lot of natural materials. You can see, let me put Ned's shed over here. You can see I'm using stones, actual stones, as the foundation for Ned's shed here. We can set this right here, and it sets nicely on those stones. You can see. And I'm not going to glue this down yet because, again, I'm not sure if this is going to be part of my layout. If I'm done with all the presentation and everything and I decide I'm not going to do another presentation, then I will fit this in the mountain area and extend this road past here and go to wherever, and then this will be secured down. This is just showing people what you can do with what you have. And if you have natural materials like this, you can use them. There's nothing that says you can't. You don't have to spend a lot of money. These twigs, these dead trees here, these are branches of off the tree out back. These other stones here are from my driveway, actually, when we had the asphalt taken up and a stone driveway, a crushed stone driveway put in. I picked a couple of them up, and they came out, you know, they're close to, I picked some out that were close to matching the painted stone I did here. So you can use natural materials and you can do a lot of different things. Now we've got this short bush here. I am gonna, let me get this out of here. I am gonna put this short one right here. Let's peel this off. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna spread this out a little bit. It's clumping up. It's not quite dry yet. And again, if you can see the base, which I can, the glue that's there, you can always cover that up later, okay? And there it is right there. And you can see a little bit of glue right there. And I will cover that up later when this dries. We're going to let the other one dry a little more thoroughly before I put it on. And again, you saw it did not take but a couple of minutes to do these if you have the jute. Now, one thing, I don't know if Bruce does this or not. He was saying that some of this, the twist in it is kind of hard. It makes it sometimes difficult. Because I use them to make the trees, I soak the jute in warm water, loosens up the fibers and kind of straightens them out more. Then you lay them out and you kind of smooth them down, and it takes a lot of the kinks in the where they've been, woven. They tend to hold their woven shape when they come out, as you can see right here. Okay, and that would be kind of hard to work with. So if you soak them for a couple hours, even overnight, and then lay them out to dry. You can cut them to length, lay them out to dry, let them dry for a couple of days. You can turn these little bushes out in no time at all. They're really, really simple. Like I said, I whipped a few of these out the other day and then went, oh, I should have maybe shot a video. And I thought, well, I've got a bunch of tall ones I don't have any short ones, so I decided to shoot the short one, to show you how to do this. I would recommend going to Bruce, see Bruce, and following him, Jersey Highlands Bruce. There'll be a link in the description down there to his website. He works with a lot of what they call vintage now, kit buildings, a lot of wooden kits from the 50s, 60s, and the 70s. I think he has a few 80s kits. I'm not sure. Bruce has been doing this for a long, long time, and it shows. He is really good at what he does. He also works on a lot of his older locomotives and stuff. I think recently he got one that was his dad's from the 1950s, running again. So he's got a shelf layout. I've only ever seen part of it. I keep asking him to show me the rest, and he says he won't until he's ready to finishes it or whatever. But he does a lot of nice buildings, all the vintage kits and stuff. And I don't know where he finds them, but he has a lot of nice kits, and he does have a lot of good information. So I just a shout out to Bruce there for that, because I have learned quite a bit from some of the stuff he does, and that's what it's all about. I pick this stuff up, and I pick it up from him. I pick it up from Jason Jensen. Jason Jensen, if you watch his earlier videos from 4 years ago, when he actually step by step, a lot of these, you'll learn a lot. Later on, when he started getting into his own business, he stopped doing a lot of the real tutorial type things. Some of them he still does a little bit, but mostly he skips big steps. Look at his earlier videos. Marklin of Sweden is another guy. He just moved. He sold his old layout. He's over there in Europe somewhere, and he just sold. He's now in the process of rebuilding a brand new layout. He's a good one to watch. Doug Foss from Fosgale Models is another one. He is currently building starting over on one of his layouts. I think that's what we're all doing. I had to rip mine completely down, or almost completely down, to tear out all the moldy stuff in the basement. That's one of the reasons also that I forgot to shoot a video, was because all my locomotives and rolling stock were out in my shed, which is fine in the cold winter because it's not damp. But now everything's melting. I had to bring it in. I'm not ready to put it in the basement yet, because I still have a lot of stuff that's got to be done down there before I can get back to work on the track. So it's all sitting up here on the landing in our upstairs in totes still. And so, it's been a lot going on. And once I get back down into the basement, and everything will start going back down there. So anyway, everybody seems to be rebuilding a layout here lately, except Jason Jensen. He's still working on one. He started about 4 years ago. I would look at his earlier videos, because he has a lot of good information on the earlier ones. He's got good videos still, but they're not as informative and step by step and showing you how to use the paints to your advantage, that you'd get in his earlier videos. So check those guys out, but definitely check out Bruce and watch some of his stuff, because we all learn. And the more we know, the more we can learn. I'm going to spread that out a little bit while I'm right here. There we go. The better off we all are. And I pass stuff along. I got no headache with passing stuff along that I've learned. Whether you pick it up from me, you pick it up from one of them, it doesn't matter. It's all about, modeling. I try to push modeling on a budget, because it is an expensive hobby. If I can find a way to do this stuff and do it without spending a lot of money, that's what I pass on. So if, like, Bruce has a good idea that saves you money, I'm going to pass it along. Jason Jensen, pass it along. That's the whole point. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is getting into the summer where I'll be doing more work on the house than the layout. So I don't know for sure how often I'll be putting out a video. I hope to at least get one out a month, maybe two. We'll see. I have a lot of stuff that's got to be done to the house. So again, if you like the video, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and until next time, bye for now.